One of the clients I work with had this ambitious idea to launch multiple marketing campaigns within a 90-day window. On paper, it sounded like a powerhouse strategy. Black Friday, holiday promotions, a New Year push, and even launching a new product line. He even wanted to start a CRM system. But here's the thing, just like you can't bake 10 cakes at the same time without something going wrong, you can't execute too many campaigns in a short time frame without setting yourself up for some serious stress and potential failure. This is one of the biggest issues I see that a lot of marketing managers run into. They get bombarded by their bosses wanting to implement all these different campaigns, and usually they just say, yes, I will do it, without really sitting down and being strategic and really understanding what the scope of the work is. Now, this client's plan was to go full steam ahead with all these campaigns, thinking he could just knock them out one after the other. But when we really dug into it, it became clear that this approach was completely unrealistic. So here's a pro tip. You want to avoid the temptation to stack your campaigns too highly. Ambition is great for sure, but it does need to be paired with realistic planning. So let's break down the recipe for success. What exactly do you need to do to avoid this pitfall? Well, the answer stands with breaking each campaign down into manageable pieces. And we've all heard this before, right? Like break down your goals into smaller pieces. But when I sat down with this client, we didn't just say, okay, let's do a Black Friday campaign. Instead, I asked him to lay out each step of the process. And this is the same thing I want you to do if you are overwhelmed by campaigns that you want to run. So here's what we did. First, we did a task breakdown. We listed every single task involved in the campaign, everything from brainstorming ideas and creating content to scheduling posts and coordinating with third parties. Then the second thing we did was assign responsibilities, and this is something that we forget to do very often. We identified who was responsible for each task, and whether it was this, my client, or whether it was his marketing team, or whether it was a third-party vendor, we really sat down and started defining who was going to be leading that specific task. And this step is crucial because it clarifies ownership and accountability. And the third thing we did was map out timelines. So we mapped out how long each task would realistically take. This wasn't just a guess. We considered potential setbacks, especially those that would come from third parties like designers or media buyers or creatives or whoever is not somebody that is under our direct control. These tend to be variables that usually stretch your timeline and throw you off your entire plan if they're not accounted for. Because when I have a task that I need to do by myself, then it's very easy for me to just go and do it. But if I rely on somebody else, then I have to ensure that they have enough time to get it done, and I have to be on top of that. That is what a CMO has to do, which is ensuring that the gaps are filled. So this is really where the role of leadership is extremely important, which is prioritizing what really matters. So let's talk a little bit more about leadership, okay? What my client learned and what I want you to take away from this is that leading a campaign isn't just about having a grand vision. It's about understanding where the biggest gaps are and ensuring those get fixed first. Leadership is about making tough calls, deciding which cakes you're going to bake to perfection and which ones might have to wait another time. So what my client did was that he prioritized the campaigns that aligned most closely with his business goals and where he could have the most impact, leveraging the 80-20 rule. This meant pushing some campaigns to the back burner, but it also meant that the ones that he did launch were executed flawlessly and delivered great results. So here's another pro tip for you. As a leader, your job is to see the big picture, but it's also to get into the details when it's necessary. It's about striking a balance between vision and execution. So what is a key takeaway I want you to take from here? Just like baking a cake, creating a successful marketing campaign is about quality, not quantity. You need to break down your campaigns into manageable steps, assign responsibilities, and map out realistic timelines that account for potential setbacks. And most importantly, as a leader, you need to focus on what truly matters and ensure that those areas get the most attention they need. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more insights on how to lead your marketing team to success, don't forget to hit that like button and follow. Drop a comment below and subscribe to our LinkedIn newsletter for more tips and strategies. And if you're ready to start planning your next big campaign, but aren't sure where to begin? Book a strategy call with us today. Let's make sure your next marketing plan is a recipe for success. Until next time, happy baking and even happier marketing.